Hi friends. So over the past several weeks, you have followed me through my self-made residency back to Pennsylvania where I grew up, and you've watched me prepare. You've watched me pack, you've watched me experiment, you've watched me reflect and learn so much. And today I'd love to show you what has grown out of this experience. So I've selected 3 different paintings, and I didn't pick them because they're the best paintings that I did, but because they have the best composition or color scheme or value set or anything like that. I picked them because of the stories that they tell. They are really markers of what God has taught me and has been teaching me and continues to teach me from those 2 weeks. So today I'd like to simply tell you those stories. Okay, here we go. You ready? So the first painting I'm going to show you is called Cornerstone. This looks like, pull it up real close. It began with a tree stump, which probably sounds like a strange thing to be fascinated with. But the more I've painted trees over the last couple years, the more I stopped noticing only the beautiful upright ones, and I started to see the fallen ones. And I began learning something fascinating. A dead tree doesn't stop giving life. It becomes nourishment, protection, and foundation, the place where new growth begins. When I found this stump, moss and water grasses had already begun settling into it. Life was quietly returning. You could walk right past it, but I couldn't, because I realized I was looking at myself. This residency happened while I was preparing to move into full-time work at the museum. That means part of my artistic life is changing. Some opportunities are ending. Some dreams are having to be laid down. And honestly, that can feel like a loss. But this stump became a visual reminder that God often works this way. Painting this wasn't just about documenting the stump or trying to teach someone else about something. I needed to paint this for myself, to remind myself of what I know to be true. And it really forced me to a question that I needed to ask myself, which was, am I going to trust that what God allows to die can become the foundation for something that is brand new, some new life? So there you go. That's my first piece. It was pretty profound for me spiritually, just to be confronted with those types of questions. I think every painting is asking me some sort of question. Cornerstone asks me, will you trust me? Well, the second painting asks something completely different. Are you ready to see it? So here is painting number 2. This is called The Shanty. This old cabin sits deep in the woods where I spent a lot of time growing up. We would have family hikes and visit the cabin. We'd have campfires here. My dad would make us sit quietly and watch for deer. We'd have quiet conversations and lots of jokes. It's woven into my memory. But over time, it's also become a symbol of something much deeper. When I look at it now, I see my own heart. There are days when that inner place feels closed, hidden, even intimidating, just like approaching this little cabin. From the outside, it's a little eerie, a little uncomfortable, and you wonder what in the world is actually inside there. But every single time I open the door, the fear disappears, and I find myself thinking, oh, I know this place. This piece is such a picture of my relationship with Jesus. There are so many times when I am afraid and nervous about entering the quiet places, the deep hidden places within my heart. I'm not sure what I'm going to find. It's a little bit hidden. It's mysterious. Don't know what's waiting for me. But when I step inside through that door, I discover he's just been there the whole time waiting, and I'm not alone. It's become a place where heaven and earth quietly meet. Well, if the shanty represents a place where I meet God, the final painting represents what flows from him. So this painting, the third, is called Living Waters. This painting surprised me more than any other. I hadn't planned on painting this spring. It's actually kind of difficult to paint because of its angle and the way it's situated and how overgrown things are. I've walked past it countless times. It has always just been the spring. Growing up, everyone drank from it. There was a little tin cup hanging from a nearby tree, and every hike included stopping for a drink before heading back home. It became part of our family story. But this year, I saw something I had never noticed before. The little roof covering the spring, the 2 trees surrounding it. Suddenly, it looked like a throne, like a place where heaven touches earth. And from beneath it, living water flowed. Immediately, my mind went to Ezekiel's vision of water flowing from the temple, then to Jesus calling himself living water, and then to Revelation, where living water flows again in the new creation. Layer by layer by layer, God was expanding this rich image into something new for me. These 3 paintings really became 3 symbols. Cornerstone is the place where hope grows from surrender. Shanty, the place where my heart meets God. And then Living Waters, the place where hope continually flows. I came to Pennsylvania thinking I was going to be painting landscapes and, doing scenes from my childhood. But instead, God gave me symbols to grab a hold of as I move into this new season of life. Symbols that I suspect will be continuing to grow in my work for years to come. Thank you so much for walking through this residency with me. It has been a joy to share both the artwork and the stories behind them and just the whole process. Thank you so much for being part of this journey.